and welcome to the third podcast. It's a podcast, guys. I swear I knew that. Of Talkin Chaos, which is basically just me and my sister being manic for an hour. I've upped the ante this time. I have brought Rain energy drink, and I wanted to wait till...
We're not sponsored.
No, we're not. I wish I was. I would do anything for a sponsorship. I thought I would wait till I started it to tell you. So a Celsius has 200, this has 300. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that. You look prepared today.
Oh no, that's just the content page.
Oh.
I'm unprepared.
Okay, well.
I'm on tradition. I don't have much to say. I'll talk about Garcia last night because he was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. No, Garcia was like bananas yesterday.
I don't know what to say with him because he came out of he sucked to start the season, and he has been not just he's been unlucky. He's been genuinely terrible. And to have one of the most dominating performances I've ever seen from an Astros pitcher is a wild turnaround that quickly. And also, you can look at it, he didn't change anything mechanical. He just decided, what if I wasn't bad?
What if I wasn't bad?
What if I was good? Which I wish I could do the same, if I'm being honest with so many things. But he was just like, I'm going to simply not give up runs, and then didn't. I mean, 2 hard hit balls... The swing and miss, hard hit contact, expected batting average type stuff, that is like Javi's no-hitter in New York last year. It's that level. I'm not even joking.
Yeah. No, I see it.
He dominated the Blue Jays. And again, very good team in those Canadianes.
Mm-hmm.
Maple syrup land?
Maple syrup land.
Maple syrup land.
Maple syrup land.
The land of maple syrup.
Land of the delicious maple syrup. Oh, I did want to talk about one thing.
Oh.
What is going on with Chas McCormick?
So apparently what happened, from what I know, is he had vision issues.
Okay, because I saw that freaking title, and my brain supplied he went blind, on the field. Just suddenly, was like, guys, I'm blind. I cannot see.
So,
and because that was the thing that I saw. The news article that popped up for me was Chas McCormick goes blind. And I'm like, what? And then it said vision issues. And I'm like, well, is it blind or is it vision issues? Can it be corrected with glasses?
I don't know. Yeah, so to my knowledge, it was vision issues. And then on top
so
of that...
he didn't go blind.
He didn't go blind midway through a game.
I just imagine he's out there in the, outfit toot-loo-loo. Why is it so dark all of a sudden?
You can't... That's great on a podcast. You don't have a video camera. No, that's wonderful. I put my hands over my eyes. I'm brilliant, truly. It's that meme from Top Gun of the sometimes my brilliance is terrifying. Mm-hmm. Just to have the log shatter the back window. And then the reason he's on the IL isn't vision, it's back. Apparently he injured his back during a workout, which same.
Okay.
And
guess what? You're not special.
You ain't special.
You ain't special. It's oh man, I hurt my back. It's you know what, Chas? I hurt my back sleeping. You ain't special.
My biggest question for that is was he working back or was he just doing something else and was oh. Because my favorite meme, I'm an avid gym goer. My favorite meme is every exercise is lower back if you do it wrong. It's my favorite meme I've found.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest question for him. Was was he at least doing deadlift or row and then did something, or was he just curling? It was oh god, just tips over.
With me, with lower back, backstory. My son grew backwards. For people who are listening, and because he grew backwards, he grew into my back, and I have had a jacked up back. So for me, I could sneeze wrong and throw out my back. So I just imagine he's in the gym. He couldn't even sneeze because he's my age-ish.
He's 27.
He's my age-ish. Yeah. Just doing his thing. Yeah, man. Then all of a sudden sneeze and throw his back out like Frasier did in that one episode.
How'd you do that? I blew
out a cupcake.
That's my biggest question. Also, if it was a matter of he was doing a back-themed exercise, how did he not have a spotter?
That's too.
Like,
And then, like, where does the vision come in? It's like, did you, like, drop a dumbbell on your face? And, like, the sheer, like, flipping and spazzing out of, like, dropping a dumbbell on your face caused you to throw your back out?
I have to imagine that he just, like, had vision problems, and it sort of came to a head. Like, maybe he needs contacts.
Somebody just sprayed a little too much, like, champagne in his eyes? Like, what?
That would be a great
I
way to
need
go
the
out.
backstory.
That's the thing. Is like, I don't want to be a reporter to ask players interesting questions. I want to ask the dumb stuff.
What happened to your eyesight?
Like, was this something normal? Did you, like, just randomly have that happen? Or were you playing too much Fortnite one evening?
Did you get stung by a bee?
On the eyeball?
Yes.
I hate that you put that thought in my... No. Why
Okay,
would you
look.
put that in the world.
Our dog ate a bee and looked like Goofy. Do you think it's out of the realm of possibility for somebody to get stung in the eyeball?
Are they trying to eat the bee with their eye?
The bee is looking for water, so he just like zooms in on the eyeball.
Can you imagine?
Imagine you're just like profusely crying, and all of a sudden the bee's like, hoo, free water.
Was that... Lafreniere is mocking a Devils player as they skate off, which is beautiful. Was that Soraya?
No, it was Levi.
Was it Levi?
Do you remember that when he was like a puppy? And
No.
he ate a bee and he like swelled up and
Okay,
looked
now
like
I'm remembering
Goofy.
that, but that was so long ago.
Mom
That's-
called me and she's like, we're at the animal emergency clinic. I'm like, what's wrong? Did he get hit by a car? No, he ate a bee. And he was allergic.
My dog got stung by a bee.
My dog got stung by a bee.
I've given her too much caffeine. I've already given her too much caffeine.
No, we're struggling on caffeine. I getting woke up at 4:45 in the freaking morning.
Oh my god! No one. Okay. Everyone who listens to this, I don't know how many of you are from Florida. Last night,
Oh my God.
at 4:45, the emergency test system, like the beep, beep, beep alarm, starts ringing.
Yeah.
A cop car blasted siren next to my bedside at 4:45 in the morning.
Everybody
and it was a
in
test.
Florida. And it was a test. It was
It was
supposed
not-
to. So apparently Will read it. It was supposed to be a TV test. It was supposed to be like 4:45 doing the test on like television and cable. And instead, somebody hit the wrong button and sent it throughout the freaking like all of the phones in Florida.
Were they fired?
I don't know.
Like, because that doesn't... Like, that's the type of thing that doesn't quite seem like a fireable offense. But at the same time, any parent would say it was
Any
a fireable
parent
offense.
with a child under 1
Murdered.
is like, no, this is not a fireable offense. It's a murder offense.
This is death penalty.
It really
That
is.
was the first thing that ran through my mind, and I've been around enough people with children to be like, oh no. That was my first thought in the morning after I woke up. Because my first thought was, mother. As I get beeped awake by
yeah.
it, which was just lovely.
Oh man. And see, we do not just like, my brain, I'm a mom. It's like, my brain is not like, oh, let me wake up and look at my phone. It's like, oh my God, the earth is ending. What is wrong? And so like, I jumped out of bed. I flailed so bad, I fell out. And in doing so, I knocked my phone off the table and then couldn't find it. Meanwhile, Will's still snoring.
That
And
checks
I
out.
had to turn off his phone as well.
That checks out.
And I slapped him and then he woke up, but you know.
Remember the story that Mom told us that God, I don't remember what it was. No, it was Dad, the necklace that he thought was a spider, and then woke up in the middle of the night randomly. Mom was awake next to him, and he just whoa, flung the necklace.
And flung the necklace, yeah.
And threw it through the board, like through a wall.
Yep. I remember that.
Incredible story.
Incredible story.
story.
And yet, Dad also slept through a car driving through their backyard.
Yeah, well, you know.
And almost into their pool, but you know.
One
okay,
episode-
baseball.
okay.
We need to get back on baseball.
One thing I wanna say, we need to, when the baseball season concludes, or maybe during All-Star Week when there's nothing to talk about, we should dedicate just one video to dumbass stories from Mom, Dad, Poe, and Grandma. Both grandparents. Just
Both
one
grandparents.
Full video dedicated to the dumb stories that they have, because that could fill this.
There really is. Oh my God. Just the stories from Chilled Coffee.
Oh yeah, just that alone would be
Oh my god.
It would have to be a two-parter.
It would have to be a two-parter. We could do a two-parter.
We could do a two-parter.
We could do a two-parter. Do like a Tuesday and a Thursday.
We could do chili and then not chili stories. And fill up a book. Back to baseball. This is what you listen to. You're not listening for analytics. You're listening to us. This is us being idiots.
Oh.
Yeah, Garcia was good. Brian Abreu was good.
Brian Abreu
was
good.
Had a very nice ending of work. He looked impressive. That needs to be an extension. That has to happen soon. Because, holy God.
We need to do it soon, too, before
He's
you
going to be expansive.
He is, but one can hope.
You could probably get him for... If you do it now.
Yeah, if you do it now.
It's hot. Maybe you get lucky and you get like a...
Look at how chill Shesterkin is tonight. He's just like, I ain't worried.
I wouldn't be. Like $7 million, I think, would be alright for Abreu. Maybe a little bit more than that. I think because... Granted, last season was a very much prove-it year, and especially when he had the perfect postseason. But he's been solid. Presley looked fine, which is solid. The lineup...
I want to talk about Julks.
The person whose name you love to say.
It feels so wrong coming off my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's like... last night, too, I was just like... oh, my God. Are they about to get another goal?
Imagine. Anyway.
We are also watching the Rangers play the Devils. Oh, my God. Another fight?
Go. Anyway. We have the attention span of goldfish.
Of squirrels.
Like, we cannot keep focus for a minute on this.
No, but...
Julks has been hitting incredibly well.
Yes.
He's been playing a solid defense, if I'm thinking properly. I'm going to pull up his numbers real quick and take a peeksy-doodle at what he's been doing, according to StatCast.
Oh, God loves StatCast.
Why does he not have outs above average numbers?
I love when you Google him, the photo that pops up on his Google, because he doesn't...
Please tell me it's the Whataburger jersey?
No, it looks like he is like a worker somewhere that's getting his photo ID. Like, it does not look like a real, like, photo.
That is like Target ID badge.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Pena's look like he's about to eat somebody.
Why would you... Why is that how you decided to phrase that? No. Go. I need you to explain.
I don't know. He just got that look in his eye.
You need to stop watching Dahmer. You need to stop watching First 48. You need to stop watching all of them.
First 48 is one of my comfort shows. Like, people talk about, like, oh, what's your comfort show? Oh, I like Friends. It's like, for me, it is First 48 and See No Evil.
See, mine is Frasier because I'm a normal human being.
Well, my other one's Andy Griffith. I go from First 48 to Andy Griffith.
That's normal.
Like that.
That's normal. No, that's normal. That's normal. You're insane. Corey Julks. Okay, so Corey Julks currently is batting, meaning how many times out of 10.
Okay. Oh my God. They just got a fifth goal.
Who did it? I need to know who did it on the Rangers game. Someone scored again. Was it...
Who was it?
Kako! My boy!
My boy!
My boy!
Hey! Kako lost a tooth!
Yeah.
When did he lose that?
Started the season and never got it fixed. Yeah, Kako scored. Eat it. Oh, he got shoved, too. Heedle. Oh, beautiful pass by Heedle. Bells are getting rocked. Anyway, so batting average. How many times out of 10 you get a base hit, and on base is out of how many times out of 10 you get on base. I specify that because this is stupid. Batting, 277. On base, 271. And how that occurs, he has yet to draw a walk, and he got thrown out one time while trying to get on base. That's insane. So, he's rock. Other than that...
Oh, shit. Oh, fight! Yes! Throw them hands!
Oh,
it's a real one!
Oh, it's Schneider.
Oh, it's a real one!
Oh, you're going at the top?
Oh! Oh, no!
McLeod is fighting Schneider, which is the equivalent of... Oh, yeah, Schneitz. Oh, yeah, baby
Get him,
troops.
Schneider! Don't let him make a fool of you!
Yeah, baby troops.
Get him! Oh! Yeah! Undercut! Oh my god.
They're actually letting
They're actually like,
They're
and they
letting
are
them
like,
go.
they are going.
Those are haymakers.
Oh.
Okay, for reference, Schneider's like 20. He's
Nice.
my age. That's a toddler.
Oh my god, that guy looks like he was wrecked, and Schneider still looks like a pretty boy. Look at the way his hair's flowing.
He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
They actually let him do it. Like, I am so happy they actually let him fight.
Long fight.
That was.
That was not like a quick.
And it was like immediate. They started throwing hands too. They didn't wait.
That's close to a draw. They both got some good. Oh, that one's right to the jaw.
I don't think he got like.
That was.
I think
McLeod,
McLeod, whatever.
He
got a couple, but
that's a good tilt right there. Is what that is.
Whew.
That is a good old fashioned tilt.
That was a good fight.
Gotta text my boys.
That was great. Oh my god.
Gotta text my boys. Good tilt.
I'm sorry.
No,
I know we got distracted, but it's like you don't see a lot of fights.
You don't see that
kind of fights a lot.
Yeah, Jolks has been very good.
So.
I might cut a little bit out. Who's to say? I might leave that in. I have to leave that in, don't I? She looked at me in the way of, I'm going to bean you over the head with the empty can of rain.
The fact that we went through it so fast already. It's kind of
That was a
sad.
big left. Good old fashioned.
Oh, wait, they're talking. Are they going to throw one of them out? Or both of them?
No, they might try to get McLeod for instigation and give the Rangers power play, which would be funny. Anyway.
Ooh. That'd be fun. Anyway.
The the Astros have been so incredibly inconsistent. It's
Oh my god! It has been... It causes me
what level
so much pain.
of inconsistency do you have to get to before you become consistent?
I don't know, but I think we've reached it.
Because every year they start off terrible, and then they'll have a stretch around this time where it's just win-loss, 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 win-loss.
And it's not even like
sides of the coin.
Yeah, it's like
embarrassing loss or one of
like,
the best games of the season.
Yeah, and like runoff wins. Like, oh yeah, we're taking this game, like not looking back kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's been ridiculous. Like it's like the highs are high but the lows are low.
Yeah.
And there's no in between. It's like, come on guys, like throw us like give us a bone here, like something. I'm begging you.
I'm approaching like 1,000 videos on the channel.
Okay.
I've made most of those about the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand this team.
No.
And I genuinely, I can't remember if it was last night's game or the game before that I was just like, I will not understand them. I have given up. I have thrown in the towel.
Panarin looks not happy.
If they have Panarin fight, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, I
But no, with the team,
can't comprehend this team anymore. And, like, until Altuve and Brantley are back, I think we could be...
Speaking of, anything on them? Oh, they...
No. They've been ejected. Get out. Yeah, I've heard virtually nothing. Altuve is with the team.
VC just left, too.
Altuve is with the team, chilling. I believe Brantley is facing live...
vibing.
He do be vibing, though. I believe Brantley is facing live pitchers down in West Palm.
Okay, good.
So just down the street.
Okay.
Yeah, Altuve's with the team. He looks happy.
Yeah.
He was very happy to see Springer. That was very...
I know.
Did you see Springer lose his mind after that lineout last night?
No.
He lost it.
Aww.
Because it was bases loaded, they were down by 1, and he just ripped it to Bregman.
Aww.
And he, like, started beating the bat on the ground. He got into the dugout and started punching the wall. He was unhappy. It reminds me a lot. Do you remember a couple of years ago where he called some... What are you doing?
You got hair.
Yeah. Once he called someone a chicken sucker. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
2 years ago?
I know somebody said it was like a chicken sucker, and Mom was like, no! And
That is not what he said.
No. That was the funniest thing is hear our mother say.
We're not going there. We're not... I
the
want to stay
unclean-
monetized!
The unclean version.
Of chicken sucker. I want to stay monetized, dang it. I want that 10 of cent.
10 of cent.
I said this to begin with, and it kind of set me down there thinking of, like, that kind of thing. I'm going to go there already, which is, I want to talk about something that isn't Astros related.
Okay.
I want to talk about, it is sport related.
Oh, yes.
You played high school sports.
I did.
I did not play high school sports. I currently play hockey, and I've been around a high school team for a couple of years now. So I want to go with, what is your favorite memory having to do with sports? That not a
Oh my
watching on
God,
national
no
television
way.
game?
So, like, an actual sport that, like, I was
Yes,
involved
that you
in.
were either on the team or with the team. So, like, not...
Mm-hmm.
I know you managed the soccer team for a couple of years. Was that all 4 years, or was that, like, 2 of them?
2.
How do I remember that? Thank you,
I've
Brain, for picking random moments.
I think one of my favorite things was at the end of my freshman year, all the boys from the soccer team, they made me a card. Mm-hmm. And it was not like a card from, like, Hallmark. Right. It was like a pink cardstock with, like, the crinkle scissors cutouts and stuff like that.
They made it themselves.
And, like, these little paper flowers. Like, because one of the guys, he was an exchange student, I think, from China or Japan. Mm. And he, like, cut out these, like, dainty little, like, flower, like, paper flowers. And put them on there. And they all, like, had their names and their, you know, their numbers. And, like, little, like, you know, thank you for, you know, being there, and like thank you for being like the #1 fan and stuff like that. And it was just really sweet because that was my freshman year. I was new to Covenant, right? And that was like my way of like, you know what, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make friends, I'm gonna talk to people, like, you know, this is where I'm gonna kind of put my foot in the door, you know.
And it worked.
And it worked. I loved it. And then my other favorite moment, it's like Covenant sports we were not good.
I feel that.
We did not win, like, anything. I remember one time the soccer team beat Holy Trinity. And for those listening, that is our rivalry. That's like, you know, for instance, like the Rangers and the Devils and stuff like that. But like, and Astros Dodgers and Astros Yankees. That is our small town's version of that kind of rivalry. And when I say that, but everybody hates Holy Trinity. And
I need it to be put out. I'm going to put this out there as well. So my sister is 10 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And so her high school experience was obviously well before mine.
Yeah, I graduated in 2010.
I started working for the high school. I've mentioned them a few times. Last year. That still is a very passionate hate. And it's not just like, oh yeah, I don't like Holy Trinity all that much. They're good.
It is a passionate hatred.
From everyone to this day. It has gone on now decades.
Yeah. And it's not just like, oh, it's a private school rivalry. Because we have small, like, charter schools and even small, like, public schools that are still in the graded, like, you know, oh, you're still a, you know, Class C or Class A school or whatever like that will play Holy Trinity. And it doesn't matter. Public school, private school, charter school, they all hate them.
Everyone despises.
And everybody hates Holy Trinity. But and then my other flip side one that we were actually good at, our church league softball was weirdly a good team.
Yeah.
Should not have been. And I think my favorite moment was not the first year that we won, like the division or the tournament or whatever. Excuse me. But the second year, when the trophy went from like a foot high to being 5 foot tall with like golden flames on it.
That's like 2 feet taller than you.
Shut up. But I was just like, we went from like a normal sized trophy to like this, like, I think they bought it thinking another team was going to win it. And they're like, oh, we're going to be like cool and this, you know, but no, we won it again. And that was a great moment. And it's still in Pastor George's office.
It is. I see that every Sunday morning.
It's gigantic. You cannot unsee it.
That is a beautiful thing that somehow blends in with how chaotic his office is.
I would say another weirdly, I don't know, can we call it a sports moment with our church league's fantasy league?
Yeah. We'll do that.
I would say winning.
Just all of that?
Yeah. Oh. I would say all of that, but especially the year that I won the Widowmaker. It's because I had 2 brains. I was pregnant. That was the joke, but...
I vividly remember that.
Yeah. The funniest thing was going home and putting it on my farmhouse decor mantle.
Mm-hmm. It fit in perfectly. I don't know what you're talking about. No,
what about you?
That high gloss black
That
bottom.
high gloss black trophy with my, like, sage green and, like, white and cream decor.
No, that fit in perfectly.
I know. One of my favorite things is I put one of my foster kittens in it. It's a picture to Pastor George.
It's got cats.
It's got a kitten in it.
I can only imagine what he was like. Are you kidding? He's just like, really? You've desecrated the trophy. You've desecrated
the funniest thing though is that kitten got adopted, and I'm pretty sure they named him something after some I totally forgot his name.
Clinton Dix.
It was ironically it was a player from the Red Sox at the time.
Mookie?
No, it wasn't Mookie. But
David Price. I don't know.
It was like 8 years ago.
Okay,
I don't remember. If somebody said it, I'd probably remember it, but
I don't remember that far back. I can barely remember this morning.
But it was funny because I was like, that's kind of hilarious. But the shelter had put a picture of him in the trophy online, and they were like, I want the sports cat.
I want the sport
cat.
I want the one that's good at athletics.
Like it's a sports model car. It's like...
That's not how that works, but good energy. 14-second power play.
Yeah. Okay, so what is your favorite memory that you have? Because you don't have... Like, you didn't play sports.
I did not play sports until, literally last October. And then it all started up. All right, I have... That's where all of them come from, is that tiny little time period.
Yeah, but you could probably include, MCC.
I'm going to, trust me. So my favorite memory from there, because it's so dumb, it was the second half of a game. We were up in Cocoa. And, for reference, when we're at home, I'm up in the booth doing sound, scoreboard, PA. I'm not with the team. So when they're home, I'm completely away from them and I don't interact with any of the people until after or way before the game. But whenever they're on the road, I actually sit with them. I go on the bus usually, and we just kind of screw around the entire time. And this was halftime. It was a game that we should have been dominating. And I think it was either 1-0 or we were tied or we might have even been losing. And it was, again, sort of a bottom feeder of the district or the county. And the entire team is getting chewed out. Except for our... You know where I'm going with
I know where I'm going with this.
Except for our goaltender, who is sitting... Everyone else, he is losing his mind. I've never seen Ron this upset.
I remember that because I remember his vein was he had veins in his head that were throbbing.
Yeah, it was incredible. He's losing his mind, and she's sitting there just picking grass out of the ground as everyone else gets chewed out because she's having a great game. She made 7 or 8 saves, which again for soccer is a lot. And she's having a great first half. The rest of the team is garbage in front of her. She's just off in her own world.
Own little world.
I can only imagine that she was playing music in her own head. Just went to her mental jukebox and was like, what soundtrack would be good for this? I'm gonna play Sicko Mode as they get eaten alive. That was incredible.
I remember that. That was a good time.
Team that I actually did stuff for, as a player, honestly, and it's dumb, it was right after Linus Olmark scored a goalie goal. And I was like, I'm going to play the puck tonight. I'm going to play the puck tonight. I'm like, I'm going to play the puck. And I meant to put my stick on it, and it just went directly underneath me. Mm-hmm. My defenseman bailed me out.
Yes, he did. I remember that game.
The only reason that it wasn't the easiest goal of the other player's life. And I just hear from the bench my captain scream, Weston! Don't play the puck! And I'm like, you got it, man.
You got it, man.
I have not touched a puck since.
You have not. I have not. The puck comes towards him. It's playable. He can just take his stick and, toss it gently gently back towards his, defenseman.
No.
And he refuses.
No, I'm not doing it again. The first game I ever played, I had an incredible miscue. Because the first game, I had a horrible miscue. I don't know how they didn't score. This was even worse. No, this wasn't as bad. But I had spent 6 months building my confidence back up to play the puck. And then I did. And then it went horribly again. And I'm like, no, I'm actually done. I am done. Unless there is an empty net, I am not shooting the puck again. And if there is an empty net, I'm going to try to score. Mm-hmm. But until then, I'm not touching it. I will not make a pass. If it bounces off of me and into the corner, that's awesome. Other than that, no. No, never again. I will also throw in there, like, the actual, like, a serious one. The first time I won a game was special.
Yeah.
That was... Because, like, I'd gotten lit up. The first, like, 4 games I had played. I was allowing, like, 5 goals plus each time. And then finally, the one game I decided to win, I just was inhabited by the ghost of Patrick Waugh. Because it was a 2-1 win. And I don't know where it came from. The game previous, I think it gave up 8. It was an aberration. It made absolutely no sense.
I will say, though, another thing that you should be proud of, I mean, like, granted, I know that last week you guys technically fell to 2nd place, but the fact that y'all, like, for a while there, were, like, 7 or 8-1 or 8-0 or something.
I think we got to 9-1-1.
9-1-1. Like, that's incredible.
It was a great start.
It was a very good start.
We've lost 3 in a row, which is not ideal.
No. With that said, I love your team. But on this last Sunday, man, they hung you out to dry. That was sad. That was so sad.
I love that team. That was not a fun moment.
It was not.
Like, that was... And again, it was one of those things where, like, I was off my position each time, and I could have probably, had I played proper positioning, I could have saved a lot of those. That being said, it was, like, 7 break. It was more than that, because I allowed 5
The
goals
one that irritated me the most was the slow breakaway. Oh. This guy was just, like, lackadaisically skating, and no one came in to break up the power play, or not the power play, the breakaway. And I was just like, I don't know if anybody heard me. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Demonetized.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. That was a beautiful moment.
Did you hear me yell that? Okay.
All I heard was the blood rushing through my ears of like, oh god, this is gonna be the 6th goal, isn't it? And then yoink, and I'm like, yo, that's awesome. Okay. That was great. I want to talk about this. Max Scherzer has been suspended for 10 games.
Why?
So
what happened? I didn't hear that.
Okay, so I think it was yesterday. He was found. The ref went out for a check, and they said his hand was sticky.
Oh.
And so they ejected him, and they gave him the 10-game instant suspension.
Okay.
He went to the media immediately afterwards and was like, it was rosin and sweat. And he was very passionate about it. And it's kind of one of those things, again, I don't know Max Scherzer on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if he were to do it and were to have done that, I think he probably would have just been like, yeah, I need to learn from that.
Yeah. Or
just wouldn't say anything. I don't think he would just vehemently lie like that.
Yeah.
Again, I do not know him on a personal level. That being said,
yeah.
That doesn't feel the look of Max Scherzer.
Mm-mm.
And I also think this brings up a very interesting point, because a few days ago, Yerman Marquez of the New York Yankees they felt his hand, and they felt something on it. They said, go wash it off. He came back the next inning, and it was still sticky. And they told him again, go get it off. And he did, eventually. And then they let him go back in the game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's because it's the Yankees.
He wasn't, like, that. The thing is, and that's the thing, like, everyone has said Yankees bias, and I've always tried to be like, it's just, this isn't that. This is genuine. This isn't a opinion of, oh, they give them some of the 50-50 calls. This is, they genuinely went against the rule book to give them something.
Yeah.
It's, if you find something on them, it's an automatic ejection. It's not a, you get to feel it. This is not where the umpire has any jurisdiction where they can say, I don't want to do that.
See, like, my thing is, I'm like, they can figure out if it's, like, an actual sticky substance or something easily wipeawayable, like, you know, resin or sweat. If they just carried around a baby wipe. Baby wipes are the cure-all. If you cannot wipe it off with a baby wipe, it is on there. And that should be the test. Because, like, even now, like, as I'm talking, like, I feel like my hands are a little bit sticky. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I touch? And I'm like, oh, I think I was, you know, I was doing wallpaper and I didn't wash my hands correctly.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, you know, I was wallpapering the wall. And it's like just that little bit of residue, even after washing, is still a little bit sticky. But if I put a diaper wipe on that, my hands would be sticky no more.
That was what got me. Is like,
Like,
isn't a matter
after the washing of the hands, that's too much for me. It's like...
That's the thing, where either he decided to go against the order of the umpire and didn't wash his hands, or he did and it still didn't come off. And again, this isn't a thing where an umpire has jurisdiction where they can feel the situation. Like with the pitch clock now, they've said, like, the umpire, if they feel it necessary, can bend it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't for Cody Bellinger, which I thought was stupid. But for other players, when they're returning to an old stadium and they get the curtain call and the fans are going nuts for a while, they're not going to call a strike. They've done that for a few players. They've been like, no, call off the violation, it's fine, let it go.
Yeah.
This isn't one where an umpire has any jurisdiction. It's, if you feel it, it's on site. This is not you get to decide if you think it's bad. It's a violation. It's a 10-game suspension instantaneously. He got nothing. And again, maybe it wasn't that. Maybe he got into something that just made his hands darker and was going to stain the ball, which is also a thing that you're not supposed to do, is like, you can't have a stained ball. Maybe it was that, and he just didn't get the dirt or dust off. Maybe it's that. And if that's it, that's fine. But you got to be a lot more clear about that. And I think you're getting to a point now, especially with the way social media reacts to everything. You can't just have umpires not available for interviews afterwards.
Yeah, because they got to start defending.
We've gotten to a point now where, and again, if that's the case, the umpire saying that resolves everything. The umpire going into the media afterwards and saying, he had dirt on his hand, it didn't come off, I told him he needed that because it was going to stain the ball. It wasn't a sticky thing, it wasn't sticky, it wasn't anything like that. It was dirt.
Yeah.
And it's resolved instantaneously. But because of the way social media can spin it and how it can so quickly jump onto it, and again, this is all the further I'm going to go with it, but where Twitter, Instagram, YouTube is the judge, jury, and executioner, you can't just not allow them to be available for interviews anymore. You have to have them go to the media and discuss it. And I'm not saying they should sit there for 20 minutes and be grilled by everyone. Why'd you call that a strike when it clearly wasn't a strike? But
don't talk about strikes and balls and stuff like that. Talk about, like,
actual meaningful
it's like, talk about the sticky stuff. Talk about, like, well, where I was standing, that looked like an out. Or, like, when they were reaching for the base, or XYZ, or...
Like, actual meaningful things. Yeah. Not just, why did you not call this a strike?
Yeah. Because how many, like, you're talking about, on average, a umpire is seeing... 150 to 200 pitches a game? Per team. Like, per team. Yeah. So you're looking at 400 balls and strikes. That's a lot of throws. Like they're not going to be able to remember and recall every single, thing.
Also, what I think is wild is, I genuinely think umpires kind of get a bad rap, because there are a few terrible ones that everyone likes to lump in with all of them as a whole.
Yeah.
I understand it's hard. Thank you for that one. This is a fun fact that I remember from an Incredible Foolish Baseball video. The current lowest rated, accuracy for balls and strikes is at 90%.
Yeah.
So 9 out of 10, he gets right. 10 years ago, the highest rated was 9 out of 10. So in 10 years, you've gone from where the best umpire would be the worst umpire if you teleported him to right now.
Yeah.
They've gotten a lot better. And now you're averaging 96% accuracy for games. And you have some, I forget the gentleman's name, but he has genuinely become unbelievable. He's getting 98, 99% per game. And so I think it's a thankless job. Also, I feel like before you say anything, you should have to go through a training where you just put the VR headset on and see what it's like to see the 100-mile-an-hour pitch coming at you and be like, oh, yeah, this isn't easy. Before everyone on Twitter is like, how could you not call that? And it's 2 millimeters off the strike zone. And lose their mind. But the whole Max Scherzer, Yerman Marquez thing is insane.
Yeah.
And again, it's not even just a matter of one's a small team, one's a big team. They're both massive teams from the same city. It's just the Yankees kind of getting away with it.
It's because the Yankees,
the Yankees are the golden
here's
goose.
the thing. They are the golden goose because, you think about it, and everybody knows the Yankees logo. Yeah. And we're not just talking about in the United States.
That is
you're talking
an iconic
Canada. You're talking Europe. You're talking Asia, Australia, even parts of Africa. People know the Yankees.
People who don't watch baseball will buy Yankees.
Yeah.
Because that's just a part of American culture.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as
It's like, they
Disney.
also, like, say what you will, they also maybe accidentally buy Yankees hats.
Yeah.
Because...
Just wanting American merchandise.
Just wanting American merchandise. Or they see the N1, they're like, oh, it's New York. One of the most famous cities.
One of the most cities.
One of the most cities. One of the most famous cities.
It certainly is.
Like, you know, so they inadvertently buy Yankees stuff because it's the NY, which everybody in America knows, oh, yeah, that's automatically, it's like, oh, that's a Yankees hat. You know, because Grandma did that once for me.
Yeah.
Like, she bought me a Yankees hat, like, when she was in New York. She thought, oh, this is just NY.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's not. Oh,
That's fun.
That was terrible.
That's fun. That dude went on a trip. We're now watching the Jets Knights game, not the good Jets. I mean, I guess the better Jets, if I'm being honest.
I was about to say, but
shut up.
Y'all don't even have a quarterback right now.
We're not going down the rabbit hole. We're not gonna go down the Rodgers rabbit hole. I can't physically do that. I can't.
Will already grilled you about it today. I'm not gonna get into it.
I can't mentally handle the Aaron Rodgers conversation right now. Like, I hate two teams in professional sports. One of them is the Jets. The other is the Patriots. Those are the only two. And I happen to root for one of them. Because of course I do. But that's the thing. I like, when I criticize the Rangers or the Astros, I keep it to what I'm criticizing, if that makes any sense. Like, I'll keep it to that game or that stretch or that season. But then I talk about the Jets, and like 2 sentences later, I'm like, and back in 2014, when this bunch of losers... Like, I go down so many trails with that team, more so than anything else. Mm-hmm. When we get to football season, where there's no
football
more baseball,
season's gonna be fun.
People are going to understand how truly insane I am. Because the entire video, it's going to be an hour, and it's like...
It's going to be an hour of you screaming and me cackling.
It's going to be an hour of me screaming. It's like, and that was the first drive from the offense today. It's you guys are going to see who I truly am with that stupid team that wears green and white in New Jersey. And you're welcome in advance. Like, you truly are. And that's the thing. Jets fans bond over how awful this team is and what it's done to their psyche. Like,
dude, I seen a Jets fan. This girl, she was served. We were at the zoo on Sunday. And she was serving, like, the liquor and stuff like that.
That is bold to be wearing Jet stuff.
And she was wearing the Jets. And I look at her. And we made eye contact. I looked at her shirt. And she goes like this. She's like, you a member of the team, too? I'm like, you mean Pain and Suffering? And she's like, yeah.
She knows.
She knows.
Everyone knows.
You a member of the team, too? Not the Jets. Just Pain and Suffering. Yeah.
It's miserable.
It's like when you can look at each other and give an eye contact with a stranger.
And they know.
And they know.
My favorite story, I'm inevitably going to do a video where I go just the entire history of the Jets. That's happening one day. I don't know when that day is, but that's going to happen. One of the main anecdotes that I have to put in that story, because it's just the most accurate depiction of this team, it was the last year of Darnold, so it was 2020, right? Middle of the pandemic. Everyone just needs an escape. You need something to get your mind off of the horrifying world that you exist in. I was at Beef O'Brady's. It was Jets versus Colts in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. And Darnold was finally back. He had been injured the first few weeks. Hellebuck! Connor! My
his forehead.
Good one of top goalies is hurt. What did you do to Helly? How dare you? Sorry, I'll get back to that story, but I need to see what happened.
Yeah, hang on.
Did he get, like... He got clipped, I assume?
What happened?
Oh! It just hit him so hard that the mask cut him. That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's a powerful shot from Eichel to do that.
Oh! Makes me flinch.
Like, that hit him just in the perfect spot that it cut him. Anyway, what time do you have? 44.
Anyway,
so height of pandemic, you'd need an escape. It was the Colts week. Darnold's finally back after missing the first few weeks with God knows what. I forget. I suppose.
Mono!
No, that was the year before.
Oh, was?
No, that was the year before. This was a new hell that the Jets were in. And he's back. There's a table across from me. It's a wife, a husband, and a son. And the son and the dad were not Jets fans, but that poor girl was. And I remember just, like, briefly talking before the game. She's like, oh, yeah, I haven't been able to watch the Jets in a couple of years because I just got really busy with life. And I haven't watched a game in forever, but I decided that I wanted to come back and watch it. And I'm like, that's cool. On the inside, I'm like, that's a mistake. First play, again, she hasn't watched the Jets game in, like, 2 years. First play, Darnold pick six, horrible throw. It wasn't even like it was a tip ball. It was just directly to the defender, like he wanted to throw it to him. Goes back. She looks at the TV. I've never seen such defeat in a person's eyes, and I just hear, God damn it, and then drinks a beer.
Didn't she shotgun the beer?
She might have. I can't. It was... And I'm like, yeah, no, this is what you came back to. Like, look, I feel bad because it sucks here, but, like, you came back. You were out. You were out of the business. You were John Wick. You got free, and then you willingly came back. You were free. You had bought your freedom.
Free.
You could exist. You could have Sundays, your weekends be free from watching that stupid team and having your day ruined. But you came back for some unknown reason, for a reason that is unexplainable by science and nature and God, and you came back.
I'm gonna make you extra sad that
you came back.
I'm gonna make you extra sad that game they lost 36-7.
Yeah. Yeah, the only touchdown was a 21-yard touchdown rush by Sam Darnold in the first quarter on the second drive. Am I correct or am I incorrect?
I don't know. I can't figure that out. I'm not.
But I remember it vividly. I remember everything about this team vividly. I can't not. Like, I could remember, and this isn't even a thing against the Astros. This is just a thing for the Jets. I can remember random losses from any given year better than I remember, like, World Series games. I just can. Like, if you wanted to ask me about Game 2 this past season, I'd be like, I think...
That was a game.
Yeah, like, I think Fromber started that game. I think Fromber started Game 2.
I don't remember.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Fromber. But if you're like, oh, Wes, who had the touchdown on the wheel route in the Niners game, in the Bills game of 2020, I'd be like, oh, that was Frank Gore. Like, I just remember stupid things.
Football season's going to be very fun.
I'm just like, I can't go down the Jets rabbit hole. Goes down Jets rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Anyway.
Screw it. We're going to go on the Rodgers rabbit hole. I don't know. No, screw it. The Astros have been so inconsistent. We're going fully to Wonderland, all right? So saddle up.
Saddle up, ladies.
No.
Here we go.
Made the decision. Woody Johnson made the decision that he wanted to go with Aaron Rodgers. And he let other quarterbacks that would be either good, genuinely good options, like Derek Carr, and then options, like Jimmy Garoppolo, like the Sam Darnold experiment coming back to town. I would have even went for Baker Mayfield. If you could have talked me into that. You could have talked me into Baker Mayfield. Do you know how damaged I have to be as a person to consider Baker Mayfield as a future possibility? Anyway, back to the Jets. But they decide they're not going down that way. They want to go with Rodgers. And then you get into the talks with Rodgers. And he's like, yeah, we have fear now that he might only play one season. And so now that's what might be holding up the trade. Maybe that's just them trying to get the Packers to blink. That's very possible. That's the whole thing. Is they're trying to make the Packers, fold. On the other hand, if that is the truth, I don't care. You made your bed. You chose to go down the Rodgers rabbit hole. You picked that. You made that decision!
I want you to understand, you're sitting like 4 feet from me and you spit on me.
I'm sorry. You made the decision! You made the conscious decision that it was time for Aaron Rodgers. And now, you sit there, trying to trade Aaron Rodgers. Everyone else is gone. You have no other choices. He is gone! Derek Carr is gone. The guy that you were like, we believe you could be a Hall of Famer if you came here and won. You let him walk out of the building! You let him leave! You have Rodgers and that's it. You're going to run it back with the Mormon? Is that the direction you want to go? Do you understand the scenes in Newark next year if in week 1 they go and starting quarterback Zach do you understand that all 3 of the fans in MetLife that are repping jet skier are gonna boo him off the field. Maybe there'd be 5 at best. But I'm kidding. What am I saying? No, it'd still be a sellout because Jets fans are in an abusive relationship. Because even in the years where they are god awful and can't win a game, they sell out the stadium every week. Even in years where they are 4-13, they're still second in attendance. Because we don't know what to... We can't stop. It's so Stockholm Syndrome. We can't stop doing it. Like, we know it's bad. We know it's a bad habit. We know it's bad for our health. We keep going back. We continuously go back to our ex. And then every September, we're like, no, we're done this year. We're not going back. And then they wink at us while we're half drunk at the bar. We're like, yup. All right, hop in. You're in shotgun. Same place as always, honey. And then we go there. Every year. It doesn't fail. But they've made their bed with Rodgers. You have to do it. I don't care. I would love to keep the first round pick. I would love to do that because that you could get a good offensive lineman there. Get maybe a weapon for him as well. Who's to say? Maybe you get a safety, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe you round out the defense, make it even better than it was last year. But if you don't have that first round pick, you can live. You can make it through the season without that first round pick. Mm-hmm. If you don't have Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna win 4 games at best.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about the pick at this point because if you don't get Aaron Rodgers, you're cooked. You are so far up the river without a paddle that you cannot, under any circumstances, get out of that situation. You're done. You are dead. You are dead men walking. Also, like, all of the people that you convinced to come here because, hey, Rodgers is coming, they're not going to be happy when they go out for week 1 and Zachary Pamano Wilson, actual name, no, it's bonkers, is going to be throwing them the football. And by throwing them the football, I mean sailing it 20 feet over their head or 7 feet in front of their face. And alternatively, if you get Aaron Rodgers, you're probably a Super Bowl contender.
Wow.
Like, I could genuinely...
Of wild.
If they get Aaron Rodgers, I could very easily see them making the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
And winning it, to be quite honest. And if they don't, I could see them finishing with, like, the 2nd overall pick. Like, you're either going to be one of the best teams in the league or one of the worst. There is no in between. Mm-hmm. And I am so not looking forward to it. And at this point... If you're unsure about the Rodgers thing, I would just offer all the Rodgers picks to the Saints and be like, hey, I know you just signed Derek Carr, but what if you didn't sign Derek Carr and instead you gave him back to us? Because that's how this... Like, I'm sorry. I understand that Rodgers is a great quarterback, and he's won 4 MVPs, yep. And he's had, like, 13 Pro Bowl appearances, or more than that, and he's had multiple 5,000-yard seasons. I understand how good Aaron Rodgers is. That's not lost on me.
No.
But your fear of missing out had you have a quarterback come into your building, you interview him 3 times in 2 days. Mm-hmm. You have dinner with him, you have lunch with him, you have breakfast with him. Or I guess it would be dinner and then breakfast and lunch. Right? Yeah, you talk with him for like 20 of that 48-hour time period. You can't stop being around him. And you have the conversation with him that you say to his face, if you come here and win, we think you'll be a Hall of Famer. And you don't offer him a contract.
Yeah.
Is insane. Like, your fear of what could be could have cost you a franchise quarterback. And again, I'm not saying that Derek Carr is anywhere near the level of Rodgers, but at this point in the career, they're pretty comparable.
Yeah.
Because Rodgers is a few years older than Carr. They're pretty close. And I understand that the Saints got him for like $30 million, $35 million, which is not cheap by any means. You're still paying a lot for that.
A lot of money. Yeah.
But if you could have him come in and be a Hall of Famer, which you said to his face you think he is, you don't let that guy walk. I'm sorry. You cannot let that dude walk out of the building. That's it. why did you do this to me? Why did you do this? Why did you send me down this rabbit hole? Why did you bring it up?
I'm sorry.
What have you done to me?
I'm sorry.
So you play the Braves. Sorry, were you not expecting that segue?
No, I was not. It was great, though.
That's why I'm so good at this, guys. I can just go from one thing to the next.
Just one thing to the next, apparently.
You play Atlanta.
We play Atlanta, yep.
And
Indeed we do.
You want revenge for that because they beat you in a World Series like 2 years ago.
Which means we're probably going to lose.
Yeah, probably. Well, no, we're going to lose the first game. We'll win the second one, then we'll lose on Sunday. No, this team is so inconsistent. You're playing two great teams, which for the plus side, the Astros seem similar to the Rangers to me, of they get out of bed for the good games and the ones that actually matter. Mm-hmm. Where I think it's much more likely that the Astros, if you had back-to-back series, and they're not doing this, but if you said they were going to play the Yankees in New York and the A's at home.
Yeah.
And you were like, which series do you think they win? I'd be like, Yankees in New York. I would not hesitate. Because they get out of bed for the good games. They get out of bed for the important series. And then when it's a bad opponent, instead of beating up on them, they're just like, all right, we got the week off. All right, Bender, baby.
Y'all don't have to try.
Side note, it seems like the A's are moving to Vegas.
Really?
The organization bought a strip, or a plot of land in Vegas.
Okay.
Near the strip. So that could be happening in the next few years, which is insane to think about. One thing that I want to mention, because I think it's funny, and I actually get along pretty well with A's fans, which is they're planning a reverse boycott night.
Okay.
The fans, on June 13th, are going to sell out the stadium to prove a point to ownership that it's not that they're not there and not that they don't exist, but that they just hate what they're putting on the field right now, which I think is one of the most petty things I've ever heard, and I love it. That is beautiful that they have come up with that idea to just be like, no, reverse boycott. Which
I think you sent me that on.
I think I did.
Yeah, you did. It's like the
also,
fans
they
are
have
not
a
the
possum
problem.
living in their.
What the hell is that about? Like all the money that they have.
I mean,
and they can't just like hire an exterminator or be like, hey, if any of the fans run an exterminator business, we will give you a shout out and a ticket to a game. Just remove the possum that's pissing on people.
That's some Parks and Rec shit, right? Like, that is actually Parks and Recreation type of activity.
That is! It is!
And they're just
And it's for real! It is actually happening in a professional sports arena.
I don't understand how you can be that bad.
And people are like, oh, I seen somebody commented on it. It was like, well, how is it still alive? What's it eating? I'm like, honey, they are going into the food stands. I'm like, are you that naive to think that your food is clean?
They have a possum living in the walls.
Possum living in the walls.
I got new.
Like,
they're just.
That sucker is living off of chili dogs and nachos.
It's so hard.
Granted, it is the happiest possum in the world.
It's hard to watch other people live your dream. He's living in the broadcast booth. He's got all the dogs he wants.
Oh my god.
I mean, he's me for real, for real.
He's meeting celebrities.
That possum is living a better life than I am. That possum is living my dream. Screw him. No, I want the exterminator to show up now. No, it's personal.
See, what you need is a really ballsy fan, and I feel like they're just the team to do it. Like, some ballsy fan just reaches his arm in there and rips it out during the game. And it's like, it's my pet now!
Where's the turtle man?
Yee!
Where's the turtle man when you need him?
Yee!
Wait, is that too old that people won't remember that?
Oh my god, I hope not.
I really hope people remember the Turtle Man on Animal Planet. That was incredible.
Oh, I love
want
Turtle
that
Man.
back. I want that back. I want that back so bad.
It's Turtle Man. Yee!
We've gotten increasingly more... This has gotten more and more off the...
It's because of this!
Yeah, it worked. We've gone further and further away than the purpose in each one of these.
We've strayed further from God.
This is still an Astros podcast.
No, it's
Barely.
not!
It is Astro adjacent.
It's Astro adjacent.
It's Astro adjacent.
We're filming in front of the Astros wall.
We're filming in
It
front of
counts.
the Astros wall. Like,
Oh, God.
I think it has to do a lot with the fact that this was impromptu. I'm sort of unsure that this is going to happen until like
Yeah.
an hour ago.
I say, I'm leaving in the mornings for Tampa, and my husband also had issues with his car,
Yeah, you were
and
working
I
on
had
drums.
issues with my car,
I had
and-
drums.
and you had drums at church that lasted well into the night.
Yeah. This was impromptu, and I was like, hey, we can do this next week. And she's like, no, we'll do it.
We'll do it. It's
We'll
fine.
get on target next week.
We'll get on target.
Somewhat.
I will be good about actually, like, because, like, as long as I have my notes and my bullet points,
Yeah.
I can kind of, like, help rein us in.
We might-
I mean, it's about as easy as wrangling kittens, but we can still do it.
I would rather wrangle kittens. How many? wait, how many kittens?
5 feral.
Now, like, did you find them when they were very young, or like 5 feral that are like a month old?
5 feral that are, their eyes are open. They can't quite walk yet, but they can just scoot enough.
So like Garfield when I found him at the dumpster.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, 5 of them?
5 of them.
Oh.
And they're really spicy. Or they're like...
That's the word. That's all the words in the English lexicon. And you landed on spicy. Really? That's what you picked. You dug to the deep roots of your mind. You reached all the way down in your bag. All the way down in your bag, and you pulled out spicy. I mean, that's accurate.
throw up.
I mean, that's accurate. But that's the word that you pick.
Yes!
Fair.
And I'll stick to it.
I'd rather take the I'd rather take the 5 kittens
Oh, God.
than rein this in.
Oh.
I would say if we said our piece, but there was no piece to be said.
There was no peace. There was no peace in this.
This is less a podcast and an hour-long recording of our conversation, which is exactly what.
Isn't that exactly what a podcast is?
Close enough. That's what this should be. That's what this should be in all.
It's talking chaos. They got what they ordered this week.
This is an Astros adjacent podcast, and I'm going to stick to that. I think we're good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to be good.
We need to be good because I am literally like
She's bouncing
joking.
off the wall.
I'm choking. I'm getting over bronchitis because I had allergies for like one day.
It
And
also doesn't help that we know each other so well that we can, on command, make the other one cry.
oh yeah,
Like, we're good. Everyone wish her a happy trip, and everyone wish her a happy trip over to Tampa. That'll be fun.
yes.
That should
We're
be good for
stopping
you.
at Bach Towers. Bach Towers, on the way to Grandma and Grandpa's
I don't know
tomorrow.
what Bach Tower is.
It's a botanical garden.
Okay, have fun with that.
Thank you.
That'll be neat. There will be flowers there.
There will be flowers.
Will there be grass?
Yes,
Dirt.
I'm sure. I think probably maybe a butterfly or two.
Oh my god, that's insane.
I know.
I was not mentally prepared for that. If I'm being honest with you.
Say now, if any of y'all want to hear me go off like Weston goes off, ask me about flowers or chickens.
She's gonna be perusing the comments, waiting. One of you, I'm asking as a plea. One of you open the door. Just one of you.
Ask
One
me
of you
about
do it.
chickens or flowers.
You're gonna get a paragraph, and it's gonna be well written, but it's gonna be a paragraph. It's gonna be.
It will be
This
well written
long.
because I have a degree. That's the saddest thing. I have a degree in like journalism, and so like I like leap when people are like they want to talk about something I'm passionate about. I'm like, yes, let's go,
You're like,
let's
"It's
go,
time.
let's go. It's
It
time.
is my time.
It is my time.
Overall, I think we're good.
I think we are good.
This has been the most insane.
This one has been the most off the rails. We totally
I'm proud of
derailed.
that.
We
proud of
derailed like those trains in Ohio.
And after the rain, we also have toxic chemicals. In my life. Anyway, thank you for listening to our insanity.
Mm-hmm.
It's deeply appreciated.
Thank you.
It gives us an excuse to do this.
It does.
Until next week, as always,
Go Astros.